Thanks.
Hello, my name is Neta, and I'm a speech language pathologist from Israel. I want to tell you today about the AAC kit for investigations in the criminal procedures in Israel. I want to tell you about what we built, how we use it, and thoughts for the future. The Israeli law for investigation and testimony, adjusted for people with disabilities, that was created in 2005, says that a special investigator, that is a social worker that has the same authority as a police investigator, will investigate people with disabilities, including people that do not talk. He can be accompanied by an SLP, and he can use AAC. The social worker, the special investigator, investigates victims, suspects, and witnesses. The special investigators and the SLP has to work in cooperation. The special investigator leads the investigation and asks the questions, and the SLP's role is to enable communication and accessibility for the person investigated using AAC. So how did we make it happen? First of all, we developed a co-working methodology, special investigators and SLPs, and we conduct training for them. The knowledge and professional tools of the special investigators are that they are trained to investigate people with disabilities. They have an adjusted protocol designed for investigation, and we adjusted it for AAC users, and the investigation style that is adjusted to the unique disability. The SLP's role when assisting an investigation is very different from his or her daily work, because the goal is different, the topics of the communication, the vocabulary is different, and sometimes we don't know the person investigated and we talk with him for the first time. We have to have no clues, no instructions, and no modeling. We build a questionnaire that is given by the SLP to people who are close to the person investigated. And it includes cognitive level, hearing and visual abilities, attention span, communication board vocabulary, manner of using the communication board, behavior, and much more. The special investigator, together with the SLP, plan every question of the investigation. The level of question, the type of the board used, and the question are tailored to the information collected. In the investigation, the first part is acquaintance, and then the second part is clarification of the suspicion. More than half of the referrals from the police for investigation were not conducted. The special investigator needs to decide according to the cognitive level of the person investigated that we know by the questionnaire. The main challenge: can that person understand and tell about something that happened in the past, no matter if he has or has not AAC? It's about the cognitive level. So the reasons that we didn't conduct an investigation are mostly because of low cognition. The status of the people that we investigated are more victims. The preparation is very important. We have to adjust the investigation protocol to the abilities and disabilities of the person investigated. We have to simplify the language. We have to decide how many symbols will be presented and where the location. We plan the accessibility, the location, the investigation room, the position of the participants, the cameras and boards. We have 2 cameras that videos the investigation, one on the person and one on the world. We have to give instruction to the person accompanying the person investigated. And now the AAC kit. We developed an AAC kit for the investigation. We purchased also relevant equipment, computers with grid, iPads with touchpad for this project. The AAC kit has a table of content, 13 boards, so the SLP can choose the symbols, each board with around 50 symbols divided into categories, and separate symbols as you see in the picture. Each symbol has a number on the back, in the table of content and in the separate symbols, so the SLP could find what she needs easily, and after using them, put them back in place. The AAC kit contains also letterboards in different languages. We always prefer using the personal communication board of the AAC user if he has one. At the beginning of every investigation, we always present 3 symbols to the person investigated. I do not understand, I do not know, there is no symbol. The symbols can be used during the investigation. When we use the AAC kit with people that do not have an AAC board, the SLP picks symbols according to every question planned with the special investigator. The SLP puts them in groups and shows every group for every question asked. The SLP reads aloud while pointing to the symbols, every symbol in a monotonic way. If the special investigator wants to ask a spontaneous question, the SLP finds symbols that will match. In the end of the investigation, the SLP organizes the symbols back in their box. We usually put 8 to 9 symbols in front of the person investigated, like a lineup. We decide carefully which symbols to put and where, so we do not leave the answers. We pick symbols that are similar in meaning or shape. When using the AAC kit with people that have an AAC board, the SLP gets a copy of the board before the investigations, and she adds symbol to the AAC board matching its shape. But if the special investigator wants to ask spontaneous question, as before, the SLP finds in the AAC kit the symbols. This SLP shows and reads aloud the new symbols in the investigation, or in the board, or in the kit. From our experience, the vocabulary that is missing in most boards are related to violence or sex. I want to give you 2 examples. An investigation we did of an 8-year-old girl. She had selective mutism, she didn't talk at school, and she also had learning difficulties. She did not have a communication board. With the AAC kit, she could answer our question, and she told us what she likes to play, what she likes to study. Finally, she denied the suspicion of her teacher of violence at home. You can see in the boards, in the pictures, the symbols that they put for the question, what do you like to play? And the symbol that we put for the question, who hurt you? Another example is an investigation of a 19-year-old young man. He used to have an iPad, but does not now. He communicates with simple gestures. He complained at the daycare that a driver of the transportation hit him. We built a special board for him to answer every question that we prepared. Eventually, he denied that he was hit. Here you can see from the preliminary information that we got, we built the board of what does he like to do in the daycare, and the second one is for the question, what did he do? What did the driver do? To sum it up, in Israel, there is a unique law that enables conducting investigation in the criminal procedure by special investigators with the help of the SOPs and the use of AAC. Co-working methodology for the investigator and the SOP is very important to do. We build a questionnaire to learn about the person that has to be investigated. The AAC kit was used in the beginning of the project, but we prefer to use a tailor-made board for the investigations. When we think of the future, we know that in the criminal investigations, it is necessary to have an SOP with the investigator to help with the usage of the AAC and all other accessibilities needed. The AAC can be used in investigation of people that cannot speak and that do not use AAC. Collecting information about the person investigated is very important to know if to do the investigation or if not to do it. The cognitive level is when they can tell about what happened in the past. If not, there will not be an investigation because they cannot tell us about what happened. In future investigation, we will use more tailor-made boards because every SOP nowadays in Israel can have the computer or the iPad and can build a board like the person has. And we continue to raise awareness in the legal system and more in places, in daycares, in schools, everywhere around Israel, for social workers, for lawyers, and for everyone to know that it must be done and it can be done. So, thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.